Hey, how's everybody doing this morning? Let me do a quick check. Oh, Toronto Riggins is back in the top spot. Shout out to you, my sister. Top of the morning to you, D-Rob Training. That chick, yo, what up, cuzzo? What up, sister, Monique? Hey, boo. I just saw you, but hey again. My guy, Bob Brick in the building. Hey. What up, Kay? Good morning, good morning. It's Tuesday. It's election day. Yes, it's election day. At least in this area. I'm pretty sure it's election day across the country. Get a chance to vote today. Go out and make your voices heard. Go out and make your voices heard. I got a busy schedule. I just realized that I had a lot going on, but it's been a busy week for me already, and it's just Tuesday. However, back in the building, and I'm excited about today's topic. I know D-Rob Training mentioned it in a previous broadcast, and I knew I was going to get around to it, but I'm happy to get around to it today. I think it's the appropriate time. It's the right season. We've already had enough things working around it to kind of give it the foundation that it needs, so I won't have to go like super deep, but I can be very practical with it. And so today I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody who made yesterday their best day. And that's the mission. We got to make every day our best day. Can't wait for tomorrow because tomorrow's not promised. And we can't get back yesterday because it's already gone. It's already passed. It's in that sea of forgetfulness and we cannot get it back. So all we have is today to make the rest of our life the best of our life. Because one day it will be. So what are we talking about today? Today is a subject that has been near and dear to my heart for a very long time. And for those of you who don't know me, welcome to the show. My name is Jamon, and I am a family personal development coach. Been doing it for, almost 2 decades now. Majority of the time was personal work, deep work on myself, whether through therapy, classes, things of that nature. But also, I've been in the professional space now since 2013 in some capacity with the family. So I am well versed, I am well equipped to talk about a lot of the things that we talk about here, to even answer some of the questions that you may have. Now, I just want to throw one note of caution. I am not a licensed professional. I did not go to school for psychology. I do not have a master's or a PhD, and they do not call me doctor. Well, my baby called me doctor, but that's another whole story. But I'm just giving you real practical advice, practical experience, things that I've learned and that I know works. I've seen it not just in my own life, but also in friends and families. And I've been to therapists and counselors, so I know that the information is very much similar. So now that that's out of the way, today yesterday we talked about passion and we talked about seasons, and there's a reason and a time for every season. There's a thing that there's a timing that we have for certain things, which is why you can get in traffic. I like traffic examples, as you can tell. You can hop in traffic, and if you hit it at the right time, it's smooth sailing. But if you stop by the gas station or you leave the house like 2 minutes late, later than you normally do, you hit this pocket of traffic and that just makes your day. It just throws your whole drive off. I know I'm not the only one. I know we all do it because I see y'all in traffic pointing those love fingers at other people. That one exercise finger that just says a whole lot. Road rage. I see it because people hit a pocket of traffic. Had they timed it a little better, or just sometimes just bad timing. You just can't help it. You know, one thing leads to another thing. If this one person had gone through that light and not held you up, you'd have been to work 5 minutes earlier or to your destination 5 minutes earlier. It's all about timing a lot of times in life. And there's a saying that when preparedness meets opportunity, success happens. And so what this show is about is getting you prepared, giving you the tools and the tips you need to get prepared so that when opportunity meets, you're ready to take advantage of it. Because opportunity is always, always, always present. Opportunity is always around. But we're not always prepared to take advantage of it. So this show is what I want. This is what I want this show to be for the foreseeable future. I don't know. You know, this show came out of the ether, and I just felt like doing it. I may stop doing it just as quick. I don't know. Not gonna stop doing it. Not that quick anyway. And so before we get into today's topic, let's go ahead and get these affirmations. These gratitudes out of the way. And I hate to say it out of the way, but it's not a chore for me to do it. I want to get to them because they're important and I don't want to forget them, because I know gratitudes they're reaffirming, they're grounding. They're the thing that makes you happy and grateful for where you are. And once you develop an attitude of gratitude, once you can settle in that space, the ground is now prepared to receive other things. Gratitude is kind of like the foreplay, if you will. It's that getting you warmed up to receive whatever's about to happen to you. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going this morning. I already see a theme happening in my mind, so maybe I need to really be talking about this mind renewal thing today. Or maybe I need to just let it flow and just see what happens. Craig G's in the building. What up, baby? All right, let's do these gratitudes. And yeah, let's get the show started. Oh, and if you're new to the show, you're just making it in, hit that like button on the way in, hit that subscribe button on the way in so you can get those notifications. And please feel free, have fun, chat it up, meet new people, do good work. And we'll find out a little bit more why today. Yeah, boo, you know you call me Dr. Daddy. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Oh man, I cracked myself up. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I don't take myself so serious anymore. I'm grateful that I've learned to just let go, enjoy life, enjoy the moments that come, making them happy when you can make them happy. Because life isn't always as kind. So I'm grateful that I've learned that enjoying the moments are the true pleasures, the true gems of life. I'm grateful to be in a good space. I'm grateful to have stability of heart, mind, body, and soul. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the family and friends that I get to love on, learn from, lead, be a part of their space. I'm grateful for new family, new friends, new opportunities. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I get to see this day. I get to decide what kind of day I want to have. I get to choose my attitude. How many times I decide to smile. I get to choose who to be today, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. for all that has been bestowed upon me. Some things I earned, some things I didn't. I'm just grateful that I have the opportunity, and I've grown wise through the years. And now those two things are coming together, and I'm able to make a very good life. And I'm grateful. All right. No. Don't be trying to give her my monikers. No. You will not. You will not do that today. Oh, no. No, ma'am. You will not do that today, Toronto Riggins. Yeah, she is. She's a wild girl. But she's not going to do that one today. Hold on. I got a little. Wait. Hold on. Where is that? Let's see. Yep. I got me a little scratch. We're going to run that back. No, ma'am. You're not going to do that one. No. She just Bobby right now. That's it. That is it. I'm Dr. Daddy. That's right. I do the prescribing of the medicine around here. Ooh. Oh, man. Y'all, wow. Okay. Let's get into today's topic. We're talking about renewing the mind, changing the mindset. And we've already dug into it just a little bit. We've already covered certain aspects of what it takes. So I want to do it from a slightly different perspective today. I want to have a little bit of story time. Y'all know how my story times can go sometime. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little story time just for a hot minute. It was 1997. 1997. Few of you were babies still at this point in time. But it was my first full year in the military. I was stationed in Wonju, Korea, at a little base called Camp Eagle. And I'm pacing the floor back and forth, and I'm on the phone. And I keep hearing the doctor saying, breathe. It's going to be okay. Breathe. And my stomach is in knots. Dang. D-Rod Trader said I was 3. Wow. Oh my goodness. I love it though. I love it. I was 3 too in my mind. I was acting 3. But I was full grown though. So my stomach. Okay, I'm gonna get out the comments. Y'all, wow. My stomach was in knots. I am struggling with everything that is within me because my first child is being born. My first child is being born, and I am overseas in a foreign country. I have no access, and I can't get back to be there for my daughter's birth. Now, at the time, there were cell phones, but they were nothing like the cell phones of today. You know, we still had car phones and bag phones, and if you had a cell phone plan, it was probably what, $1 a minute to talk, something ridiculous like that. There were no unlimited minutes and data, none of that stuff. Didn't exist, wasn't a thing. So I was on my MCI phone card. And you do know MCI is bankrupt today. This call probably did it because I ain't pay that bill. This call probably is the one that did it. This call is probably the one that did it. I was on the phone from roughly 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. in the morning. It was a long freaking distance phone call. That one phone call would net it over $1,000 when it was actually said and done. Somewhere close to around $1,300 was this one phone call. And I'm on the phone and I'm hearing my baby and her mom in this strained situation. She was in labor, and I heard the doctor say, the baby is breached. The baby is breached. Nurse, grab the forceps. Now, I'm not in the room, so I'm hearing all this happen. Her mother has me on speakerphone, and I'm hearing all this happen, and the worst possible things are going through my mind. The worst possible things. I'm about to lose my girl and my child. What does breach mean? I couldn't just Google it real quick to find it. I'm in an army barracks room. There are no dictionaries. And so my mind is playing the worst kind of tricks on me. But 2 hours in, she's still not dilated quite enough, but the baby is coming. She's in all kinds of pain. And then they do see what they thought was the crying of the head, but it wasn't. It was her feet. And if you've ever been around birth, you know it's not a good situation when you see the baby's feet coming out first. All kinds of things can go wrong when a baby comes out foot first. The head has to be the one that comes out. It's a much smoother process because the body gets more aerodynamic and it slides out. But if you're coming out foot first and the baby's arms are flailing, the baby other leg might be flailing, it's a tight space the doctors have to work in to pull this newborn child out. And there's so much damage that can happen inside the mother. And so the worst thoughts were happening in my mind in this moment. Forceps, they're like, and I hate to use the word scissors, so I'm going to use the word tongs. They're like these long handled tongs, but they have like scissor grips on them. And they use that to insert and to turn the baby around in the womb. And so to this day, my daughter, she is 26 now, and she still has a scar on the side of her face from where the forceps grabbed her. And so like this 6-hour birth, 7-hour birth, which is still fast by some measurements and some other births, but it was a traumatic one for her mom and myself. Me, because I'm a hands-on person. I like to be around my loved ones, especially when there's something happening. And I couldn't be there. I felt powerless. And all I had was my thoughts. But the birth of my daughter, it taught me something about life. It taught me that just as a baby is born and has to come out head first, in life, if we're going to do anything, we must be head first. It must start with the head. If the head is not in it. And I know some of you thinking, what about the heart? Well, kind of the head and heart, they're really the same thing. They're really the same thing, and I'll explain a little bit more of that in a second. But if you are not in a position to where you are doing something with this, then there's a thing called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance, for those, I know some of you already know this, but for those of you who don't know, cognitive dissonance is that interference in your mind when you know a thing, but you do something different. Or you know somebody is innocent of a crime, but you lie on them. It's like sometimes you become a pro and it just becomes second nature to you. But the first time you do something and then some competing thought comes with that, there's a moment that distorts you. It's like trying to convince somebody of something that you know is real, but they're not sure. And when you say it, it makes so much sense that it interrupts their thought process. That's cognitive dissonance. And I know many of you have experienced it. You may not know exactly what it was, but that's that feeling. When somebody say cognitive dissonance, it's that disruption that you feel. Your brain and your heart and your mind can't come together for some reason. There's some kind of disturbance there. And quite honestly, it's you hear that when there's infidelity in a marriage and you didn't see it coming. You hear that when you get that tax liability. You know, I thought I was good. Now you all of a sudden you got to pay 10,000 back. I thought but I checked. I got my deductions. Or he's where? She did what? Because in your heart, you knew this is what it was. And once you find out that it wasn't what you thought, that's why there's so much sadness. That's why there's so much emotional disturbance and turmoil within. Because you can't get your heart and your mind to jive, to synchronize. Because they were in perfect harmony until something shattered that. Cognitive dissonance. So if the mind isn't in it, if you're not leading with your mind / your heart. I think I better get to it so I don't confuse anybody. Okay. So I was raised in the church. And so I learned a lot of different things scripturally. And there's a scripture that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So in scripture, you're talking about heart. We're talking about not the physical thing that's pumping blood through our system. We're talking about our mind, our subconscious and our conscious mind. The subconscious mind is what the Bible refers to as the heart. Why? Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If we're talking about the physical heart, we'd be spitting out blood, right? Because its only job is to pump blood, right? Only job is to pump blood. So scripturally and spiritually, when we say renewing of we're talking about the heart, renewing of the mind. We're talking about that, not the physical heart, but the subconscious mind. That the subconscious mind is who you are. It's your auto programming. It's the thing. It's your nature. So when you have your conscious mind trying to do a thing that your subconscious mind saying, "What we doing?" What we doing? That's cognitive dissonance. I hope that made a better understanding. Did that make sense? Renewing of the mind is referring to the heart. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What's in you the most? What's your most innate programming? What's your most programming, your programming. The thing that has become habit, the routine, the things that you no longer have to really work on or focus on. They just naturally happen. Great. Okay, I'm getting a bunch of yeses. Okay. So Tuesdays is a day where we normally do some kind of how-to, some kind of articles, and we're going to do it somewhat today. But because we've already covered this subject, this is going to be a lot of same stuff you've already heard. So I want to maybe just have a little bit more of a dialogue about it this morning as we're going into it. And I think my allergies acting up a little bit this morning too. So forgive me if I'm sniffling more than normal. So if you talk to therapists or you talk to people that's, I will say, quote unquote, in the secular world, mental health specialists, mental health people that work in that space, one of the first things they will say to you, have a good day. One of the things that they will say to you is growth mindset, right? They'll get you in, they want to know what your habits are, what you read, what you're listening to, or they'll suggest that You do more mindfulness exercises or activities, things to put yourself in a better space. They would say self care. You need to meditate more. You need to get massages. You need to have pamper session days, things that make you feel good. Why? Because they understand when you are changing your mindset, when you are overcoming a hurt or a stress or some kind of emotional pain, there's a resettling that must happen. There's a foundational piece that needs to be restored or revived because your foundation is your emotional foundation, your emotional stability is the thing that everything else rests upon. For women, it truly is emotions. It truly is love. It's that thing that makes women rooted. For men, it's respect. Respect is a man's love, ladies. And when a man doesn't feel respected, his foundation is not stable. When a woman doesn't feel love and secure, fellas, her foundation isn't stable. And so when we go to mental health providers, one of the first things they want us to do, they're asking us, what's our self-care look like? How do we get back to a foundational place that is going to support our structure, support our building, this body that we live in? What are the habits that we have that are going to not only get us through this moment, but take us into a better height or a better place down the road, but also give us tools that whenever we go through this struggle or a similar struggle or something else that knocks us off balance, we have the tools to get back on track. That's basically what a mental health provider's whole job is. They want you to renew your mind. They want you to get that foundation back again. So we talked about cultivating. How do you cultivate that growth mindset? Does anybody remember when we talked about it? I think maybe a week or two ago. How do we cultivate that growth mindset? Does anybody remember some of the things we talked about? Maybe even that day that it came up in the chat. What were some of the things we did to cultivate that growth mindset? Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember? Cultivating the growth mindset. Does anybody remember? Because if I tell you exactly what I'm thinking or what it was, it's gonna just open up the floodgates. So I'm trying to give you guys a chance to kind of. I know the cobwebs might be a little strong right now, but cultivating a growth mindset. What does that look like? Well, one thing we do, we actually just did it. It was called the gratitudes. It was called the gratitude. That's probably the number one thing that people will say. Yep. D Rob says, I remember someone saying changing your surroundings. Yep, that's definitely a part of it. We're going to get to that one. That's a very important one, D Rob. We're going to definitely get to that one. But the gratitude is probably the easiest thing you can do. It is the go to thing, which is why I normally start the show out with the gratitudes. Because what the gratitudes do is it help you to start recognizing the good things in your life, the things that you actually have going for you. Especially sometimes we get into this negative spiral and it makes us feel like there's no hope. It makes us feel like we don't have value. It makes us feel a lot of different ways. But when you are in that gratitude space, not only do you recognize the good that you have in your life, it also changes. Monique says, change how you think, be positive about what you think. Yep, exactly. Um, when you start having gratitude, when you start doing your gratitudes, you start to realize that some really good things are happening in my life. And so I'm able to express this. But now I also start to shift just a little bit, and I start thinking about all the people that I'm grateful for, the people that value me, the people that I value, the relationships. Because it's hard to get caught up in what's happening that we don't fully understand the negative spiral that we're in. So the gratitudes is something that really helps jumpstart that space for us. And so with that, and we talk about cultivating that growth mindset, believing in your ability to learn and grow when opportunity meets preparedness. When we make mistakes, we tend to, in a growth mindset that is, when we make mistakes, we don't take the L's as losses. We take the L's as lessons, right? Yeah. We don't take the L as losses, we take the L as lessons. And that's the hardest thing to do because some of us, we are so afraid of failure to the point we don't do what we need to do. We're gun shy. We're halfway in and we're halfway out because we don't want to fail, because we think we're going to be embarrassed. We think there's going to be something that is going to devalue us because we fail. When truth be told, it's not until you fail that you really grow, that you really learn, that you really become everything that you want to be. It's the failure. It's the loss of the relationship sometimes. It's the loss of the job sometimes. It's the loss of the opportunity that makes you wiser and gives you more strength to go forward. D Rob, yeah, learning tools, Toronto Riggins, exactly. D Rob, what happens if you have 10 clients come to you next month and every exercise, every drill that you give them, they do it perfect, they do it flawlessly? What kind of feelings would you have if that was to happen? I know you might be working, so you can't get right back to me. So when you think of that answer and when you can put that answer in the chat, put it in there because I'm just curious. If you had 10 clients come to you next month and they want to get ready for college, and every exercise, every drill, everything you give them, they do it flawlessly. What would you feel about that? And I know it's a little bit of an abstract question, but I just want you to, because you asked the question initially, so that question really is especially for you. But it's a great teaching question. It's a great teachable moment question. If they were flawless in everything that you asked them to do, how would that make you feel? What would that make you think? So another thing, as you working on those, I'm gonna keep on going because I know you might not be in a position where you can actually give me the answer right now. So when you get to a stopping point, put that in there. So another thing that with that creating the cultivating that growth mindset is what therapists would say. They would counselors would say they will give you mindfulness activities and exercises. And I remember the first time I went to this therapist and she gave me this. It was like this linguistic program where I would sit there, I would put headphones on, and it was like a guided meditation. And it would actually have me go from down to my toes. Feel my toes right now. What do my toes feel like? Then up to my calves. How, and it's like I'm just like going from body part to body part, and I'm actually feeling each body part. Something that we do without thinking about, but when you think about it, I think this was the trick, because I thought it was so stupid. Why am I thinking about my toes? My toes ain't bothering nobody. Why am I thinking about my toes? It wasn't until maybe my second or third session that I started to realize how much more centered I was, how much more relaxed I became, how less I thought about the outside world when I just focused in on myself. Myself. I was getting grounded in mindfulness, understanding what each part of my body was experiencing, was doing. It still sounds crazy when I say it, but I promise you, it worked for me. Crazy thing is it happened yesterday. Okay, hold on. D-Rob said, crazy thing is it happened yesterday, but he was a freshman. I was actually very excited. Just means he is about to get even better than he already is. Exactly, right? He said, but I can also turn up a little bit now and start inputting more challenging drills. Exactly. So when you get into a space, and this is the perfect attitude to have, this is a growth mindset. What most people do, they they have these expectations, and then somebody comes in and they meet or exceeds their expectations. Because they don't have a growth mindset, they immediately feel insecure. They equate somebody else's success with their inability or their lack of capability, and they get down about it. Now, I didn't think that was going. I didn't think that was possible to happen. However, you just exhibited that you have a growth mindset. You have a growth mindset. So you are already in the space of renewing your mind, whether you even realized it or not. It's the process. Yes, it's the people, it's everything. There's a actually I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. But yes, you are exhibiting a growth mindset. And so another thing, right? Especially if you grew up in the church like I grew up in the church, you are people get stuck sometimes in faith because they're waiting for miracles. They're waiting for God to miraculously move on their behalf. And so they get stuck in a place. They get stagnant and they're just waiting. What up, Gary? Good to see you, my brother. It's a God prepared me for that question. So I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. It was no wrong answer to the question. None at all. None at all. And I asked that question because I knew, well, I was hopeful. I wouldn't say I knew. I was hopeful just because you're here and what you've already doing. You don't seem like a person that's stagnant and stuck in what was. Yeah, we all get stuck a little bit from time to time, but you haven't struck me as a person who would just sit on your hands and just twiddle your thumbs until something happened, which is what I'm talking about right now in this point. So many people are waiting for some outside intervention. Oh, I'm waiting on the government to do it, or God is going to send something, or God is going to do this. When the truth of the matter is, the greatest gift God ever has given us, honestly, the one thing that He refuses to touch or control is free will, our will. That is the greatest gift that He's given us because we get to decide. I say it all the time, we get to choose. Even God Himself won't interfere with our choice. We get to decide. And because we get to decide, just like every other thing creeping and crawling, flying upon this earth, they have the skills, they have the protections, they have the survival mechanisms to help them survive in this space, in this world. And if He's given us the free will, then guess what we also have? We have a strong intellect that can manifest and make happen whatever we need to have to survive in this world. So He's already given it to us. We just haven't been using it effectively. Bar. I like that. I like that. That's a good answer. We've already been given the tools that we need, which is why when we go into those spirals and we just want to feel sorry for ourselves, there's very few people, there's very few things that's going to bring us out until we decide. Have you ever tried? Put a one in the chat if you've ever tried to change somebody. If at some point in your life you thought I could change this person, I'm talking about from your child, I'm talking about from a partner, a friend. I mean, if you ever in your life thought you could change somebody, put a one in the chat. I want to see something real quick. Ooh, Monique with the honesty. I appreciate it. That's right. Oh, you caught that, right? Yeah, man. Yeah, I've tried. I tried to change quite a few people in my time. If they could just fix this one thing, just one thing, right? But a person will not change until they see the need to change. And even then is a struggle because now they have to change their whole mindset. They have to change their programming. So there's a struggle and there's a constant battle back and forth just within the person themselves. And now you on the outside trying to add pressure to them. And they blow up, they walk away, they quit, they give up because it can be too much. It can be too much, especially if you don't have the tools, if you don't know how, which is why I'm such a big fan and advocate for therapy, for counseling, because it's all about tools. It's all about tools. I am not one of those people that believe that faith alone is all I need. And I say that because how I truly believe. I believe that we've been equipped to go out and conquer this world, to have dominion. And if we've been equipped to go do it, then it's hands off. Because anytime I intercede, I'm saying, if I'm God, if I intercede, then I am stunning your growth. If I have equipped you to do this thing, mothers, fathers, if you have prepared your child to do a thing, let's say something as simple as tying their shoe, but every time they struggle with that second bunny ear, you go in and you help them, you have defeated the whole purpose of giving them space to do it, teaching them even how to do it from the beginning. So I believe all these tools, all these things on earth were designed to help us get to where we need to be. Because if you understand how your mind works, your heart, if you understand the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, how they work, you can overcome so many challenges that much faster. That much faster. I can tell you, okay, here's a list of things to do to help change your mindset. Let's go cultivate a growth mindset. Let's practice mindfulness. Let's do those things. Let's foster positive relationships. Let's get in better circles. Let's get around people that are doing things that we like to do and we want to do. Let's get around people who inspire us or motivate us. Let's read more books. I can give you all those tools. I can actually walk you through each one. But if your will is weak, you're probably not going to have the success that you want. So that's the reason I started today out talking about having a strong will. God's gift to us was the will. And when your will is weak, it's a terrible thing. What Monique say? Excuse me. Said, nah, you got to put that work in too. Apply all the resources you have been given. That's right. That's right. But so many people are crippled waiting for some outside intervention. Nobody's coming to save you. About to get out and vote. Have a good day, Dr. Day. And everyone else. Thank you, boo. Baby going to vote. Yep, she going to the poll to cast her vote. Vote again later, boo. I got another poll. Voting poll, folks. Voting poll. My mind is in a terrible place today. See, renewed mind, man. I need to renew my mind. I think my brother been telling me this for years. I think it's finally bleeding through the cracks now. So, for the person that is struggling in the space of they're waiting for the miracle, they've been taught their whole life that, God is gonna fix it. Just wait on the Lord and He'll come through. And they're literally sitting there waiting. They're shivering. They're in the elements. They're waiting for this miracle to happen. I know, boo. I got a couple issues. I know. Working on it. Renewing of the mind. I'm changing the mindset. Thank ya. God gonna do it. That's probably why they've been done yet, right? Because I'm waiting on God to do it. Oh man, hey man, what you talking about, man? No headboards. Well, we did detach ours, so but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so the first thought I would say is start believing. You have to believe that you can control your thoughts. So many times we get into a space where we think we can't control our thoughts. We think that we're just helpless. We're victims of our thought process, when that is the furthest thing from the truth. What you read, what you listen to, what you hear, all those things, it matter. It matter. What goes into the eye gate, the ear gate, it informs your subconscious mind or your heart. Your biggest influences all inform who you are on the inside, who you truly are, what you truly feel, what you truly believe. The people around you, the people that surround you, that give you game, that give you knowledge, that give you wisdom, they are people that are programming the heart. And so when we talk about renewing the mind, we have to renew that. When we talk about when we talk about man, I know I started it today. I'm so sorry, y'all. I know I started it today, y'all. I'm so sorry. When we talk about how do you know if your mind needs to be renewed? How do you know if your mindset needs some tweaking? You simply look at the results of your life. Check your results. Do you earn the amount of money you would like to earn? Do you have the relationships that you would like to have? Are you living or have the lifestyle that you want to have? Are your relationships productive and fruitful? Is there trust? Is there love surrounding you? What are the results of your life? Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth does speak. And when the mouth speaks, it manifests things. It manifests things. So we have to be truly conscious of not only what we say, but also what we take in. This is one of the reasons why I had to, early in life, I had to get away from some of my negative influences. That's the primary reason I joined the military, because I knew if I didn't get away from home, it was not going to end well for your boy. I was 1 foot in the streets, 1 foot in the church. I was 1 foot in the gang territory, another foot in the in girls, and I was doing everything except anything that was benefiting me. Nothing was benefiting me. Everything I was doing was benefiting other people. Everything I was doing was giving and supporting, not in positive things. And I knew if I do not get away, my story is going to be like so many others. I'm going to be dead or in jail by the time I'm 21. And I knew I wanted something different, but I just didn't know how to do it. So my reasoning was, I need to get away. I need to go where there's structure. I need to go where somebody's going to give me some accountability. I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to be given responsibility, but I'm going to have to earn respect. Now, that's a deep statement for a 17, 18-year-old person. But I knew, not as eloquently as I just put it, but I knew if something doesn't change, my life, the results that I want for my life, even though I didn't know exactly what that was, I didn't have a long picture view of what my life would be, but I had hopes. Didn't have a lot of goals, but I did have dreams of having a good lifestyle. And to be honest with you, today, I have exceeded every dream that I had as an 18-year-old. Why? Because I knew nobody was coming to save me. Just in time. I knew nobody was coming to save me. I was in that period where I just graduated high school, but I didn't like school. And so my friends that were going off to college, well, they were gone. The people who were staying home to work, they were working. And then there was the other folk, the one who was just hanging around, drifting. You know, did a show about drifting? Those are the people that I was hanging around with. And they had no healthy outlooks for life. And honestly, I didn't either. But I knew nobody was coming to save me because I seen my friends and my other family members leave, going. They chose to leave. Nobody came and got them and packed them up and took them off. They filled out the applications. They made the efforts to go do something different, to get in better circles, to have a better life. And if I didn't do the same, my life is going to be the last funeral that I went to. And I decided I don't want that. So I chose the only path that I had at the moment that made sense. And that was complete getting away. And that was military. That was being given structure and discipline. And because of that, the results of my life, I've been surrounded by people that were doing more positive things than negative things. I've been surrounded by people who have given me fertile minds to learn from. I've been around people who were aspiring in business. I've been around people who believed that therapy was useful. And because of my association, so going back to D-Rob, what we said, the circle that you run in, the people that are around you, they contribute heavily to your mindset, to the growth, to the results you have in your life. I can't tell you how many times somebody's called me for work, even if I didn't want to do the work, because that person called me, I'll do it for them. Because we have a mutual respect. We help each other grow. And it's mutually beneficial. It's not a one-sided thing. If you find yourself in one-sided relationships where you're giving all, either that person is a straight up leech or a manipulator, or they simply don't know no better and they super needy. They don't know any better or they are super needy. And you need to be very careful how much of your energy you give that person. Not saying not to give any, but you need to create boundaries. Because people will literally drain the life from you, trying to jumpstart their battery and then kill yours in the process. You know, I don't know if people still had to jump cars off like they used to, but when I was growing up, we kept a set of jump cables in the back of the car. And so the policy was, if you give somebody a jump, you got to cut your car on too so they don't drain your battery. Because if you give somebody a jump and you're not charged, their battery gets fired up, but yours gets drained. This is why the family structure works when it's nuclear. Because if you a single dad or a single mom and you with your kids 80% of the time, those kids by default will drain your battery. And they have no capacity to recharge it. None. No capacity. No capacity. But if there's partnership, then you could take, when your battery get a little low, then he step in. When his battery get low, then you step in. You charge each other's battery back and forth, and now you can give the kids the charge that they need. You see, the environment that you're in, it matters. It matters tremendously. It matters tremendously. What are some other things? If you in the mental health space, they would say exercise, diet, what you eat, how much you physically move your body. G-Rob, you know this one already because you're a trainer. It all contributes to that mindset. If you constantly eating sugar, it's going to harm your body. If you're constantly eating salt, it's going to harm your body. If there's no balance, if you're not drinking plenty of water to flush the toxins out of your system, it drives you off balance. It knocks things out of whack, out of alignment that it should be. It allows room for an acidic environment for cancer and diseases to grow. Health Talk said facts. And welcome, my brother. Welcome. D-Rob says, as a single man with no kids, the way the world's set up now, I'm okay with being alone. I'm good with having y'all every morning. Oh man. It is the world we live in, man. This is a definitely a consumer economy that we live in. And it makes it difficult to find authentic, real relationships from time to time, because you never know when somebody is trying to set you up for the okie doke, trying to get something from you. You know, just click this link right here. You know, I get it. You know, it's hard to trust in spaces these days, depending upon where you come from. However, when the mind starts becoming renewed, when the healing happens in the heart, when the subconscious mind starts to create new routines and better habits, your mind expands. And as you see stuff, it changes. The perspective you have is going to shift. Being in this group, D-Rob, it's going to shift your mind in a lot of different ways, especially once we get through the rest of the year. You're going to have a lot of things to go back. And then, of course, you can always go back and look at the past shows. I mean, I haven't even started chopping these videos up and just kind of putting segments out yet. That stuff is still coming. But I'm doing this really intentional because I wanted to grow with the group first. I want to build the rapport. I wanted to build the stage, set the stage for what's going to come down the road. And I want it to be as authentic and as real as possible, because I too have trust issues, severe trust issues. And had I not started to renew my mind when I met my wife, I wouldn't have recognized her. I wouldn't have saw her for who she was. And trust me, I had to see through who she thought she was to actually see who she was. That's a bar. Meaning, what she presented on the surface was not truly her. It was a part of her, but it wasn't a part of her that I fell in love with. And I saw something deeper because I knew my struggles. I knew what I had been through, because my mind was in the process of being renewed. I understood where she was in life, but I had to set boundaries. I couldn't let her, where she was, drain me. I had to keep my energy for the things that I needed. And so life is full of those kind of hurdles and those kind of examples. And the more you go through it, the more L's you take, meaning lessons, the more lessons you learn, you'll expand. And there's some things that she's helping me through even to this day, because like I say, I too have trust issues. And she see something in me that it's not what I presented at first. But she saw it and she was patient and she waited to get to that sweet Tootsie Roll center. Oh man, Health Talk said we attract what and who we are. That's why inner growth is paramount and has the biggest impact on the mate you will attract. Facts all day long. All day long. You attract what you are, which is why we end up in some of the groups that we end up in, around some of the people. The only exception to that is family. We end up with family. We have no choice about that. And so over time, you end up having friendships with people that are closer and more trusted than your familiar from family relationships. Those family relationships. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm going to stop right there because I have like 5 more jokes off of Tootsie Roll. So I'm going to stop right there, Monique. But I will say this as we get ready to close out on this session for this segment for today. Free will is truly a gift from God. It is a gift from God to be able to will ourselves through determination, through grit, into better spaces. But our use of our will is our give back to him. A weak will is not a good gift to give back, because we were supposed to have dominion. We were supposed to subdue the earth. We have this intellect for a reason. And the will quite often is powered by our emotions. And so if we're not emotionally intelligent, if we don't understand proper maintenance of our physical body as well as our spiritual or mental body, then we will have a weaker will. That's where addictions come from. That's where bad habits come from, because our will is weak. So let's go ahead and do some affirmations and get ready to get up out of here, and then we'll come back and we'll close out. I am more than enough. I am equipped. I am capable. I am able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all I can ask or think. I am more than enough. I am confident in my ability. I am a person of integrity. Favor follows me everywhere that I go. Opportunities fall out of the sky daily. And I get to choose the best opportunities, the best outcomes, the best results, because I am worthy. I am special. I am capable. I am more than enough. I have everything I need to accomplish my goals, to accomplish my mission. I am more than enough. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am everything I decide to be, because I am more than enough. I am more than enough, and so are you. So are you. Yep, the How Have Talk got you. Sounds like a great campfire conversation topic. Yes, sir. So part of the Father Figure Institute, man, we're doing a series of get-togethers with guys pretty much all over, and we're going to be doing fishing trips. We're going to be doing retreats. We're going to be doing different topics. Have a great day, Monique. If you got to go, man. Sister, if you got to go, have a great day. I know I'm running a little bit over today. But yeah, and campfire conversations is a concept that we talk about, and some things that we're going to do. So yeah, it should be a great conversation to have, and we're definitely going to do that. I'll be getting with you real soon here, Have Talk. But also, it's 8 o'clock. Some people got to get off to the work space, to the workplaces, got things to do. I understand. I get it. I got to do the same thing. Busy day ahead. But just remember, you get to choose who you associate with. You get to choose what you let into your ears and your eyes, and you get to choose. It's cool working home. You get to choose. So if you find yourself struggling in relationships, look. That's a result. The struggle is a result. What are you listening to? Are you on social media and are you seeing things or being encouraged to think a certain way or behave a certain way by somebody who may not have your situation? Are you following people in the real world who may be having a bad thing going on in their life and you just tagging along with them? Renewing your mind is easy by just checking the results that you have. And if you're not happy, renew your mind in that area. Read books. Get around good people. Have enlightening and intelligent conversations. Be intentional about shoring up the cracks in your foundation. Be intentional. If you know you're struggling meeting people, work on smiling more. Work on how to start conversations. Work on, hey, go join Toastmasters like I did. You have to be intentional about the results that you get. And if you're not getting the results that you want, then that's how you know I need to have a mindset shift. Not the whole mind. You can do it in pieces. Because I'm sure you're solid in other areas. So don't go upsetting the apple cart. Just cherry pick, like the grocery store method. Go into the grocery store. You pass a lot of stuff. But in your cart, you only put the things that you need or want. Everything else, you leave on the shelf. Use that method when you're deciding, are these the results I want? Do I want steak and lobster? Do I want chicken and pasta? Your life is yours. You are the creator of this life that you have. You have to be intentional about the ingredients, the people, the relationships that you have. Once you got those together, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't overcome. There's no success you can't have. But you have to be intentional about it. You have to get into spaces that feed you, give you life, and that you can return it, because it has to be reciprocal. There is no give without any kind of reciprocity. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday. It's been a great day. I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow for our case study. It's going to be a great case study tomorrow. So make sure you come back. Somebody that we all know, love, or have at least have knowledge of and respect at some level. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great day. Make it the best. Hold on, let's see. Today is a great day, y'all. Smile today. That's right, D-Rob. Smile. Toronto Rican says, if I want to share your organization with the youth at my church, where can I find that information? Great question, Toronto Riggins. You can go to fatherfigureinstitute.com. Fatherfigureinstitute.com. Website is up. We're working. We're going to do some community things, but you can also contact me from there as well, too. So any more questions? That's right. Health Talk says, have a wonderful day, no matter what. Be vigilant. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the shares, the energy today. It's been a great show. You guys be blessed. Go vote. Have a great day.